question. And be honest. Do I make you horny, baby? Do I? Do I make you randy? Yeah.
Because we are back talking DADDL Cup for 2022. Only a few short months away, so be sure to be getting in your swings and uploading those scores to Grint, because we have officially incorporated handicaps into the cup to level the playing field. Sorry, not sorry, Evan. So stop your smoking, token, and poking, settle in, and pay attention. I know that's like milking a fly with this crew, but we're going to give it a shot. So here's the handicap list from Grint based on all of your scores. And let's stay honest, because we're going to be just observing the scores and making sure that everything aligns so there's no sandbagging. Zampini. Now let's incorporate the handicaps into a matchup from last year on the hill course. Obviously, you will see it looks a lot different than the sheet we're used to, but don't worry. All we have to do is pay attention to the white cells only and enter your scores as you typically would, just like every other DADDL Cup. Again, just enter your scores into the white cell, and thanks to Dom's Excel wizardry, whatever that word is, we can now just let the sheet calculate itself. But let's note some differences. You now have the course handicap on the sheet. So, listing out the hardest holes. Hole 9, hardest hole on the hill course. Hole 10, second hardest hole on the hill course. Thank you, Hill, for back-to-back hardest holes. Combined team handicaps. We'll get to how we calculated these. Individual handicap in best ball. We'll get to how we incorporate those. Pretty straightforward. Your team strokes given on a hole. Your player handicap. Pretty straightforward. Don't pay attention too much to all of this. Again, the sheet calculates itself. So once the names are entered into the sheet, on the pairing sheet, your handicap will automatically be added. And we will get into how we came up now with the combined team handicap for each event. So, for scramble, according to the USGA formula, so no questions asked, no lobbying, we don't want to hear it. USGA formula, you take 35% of the lower player's handicap plus 15% of the higher player handicap. That gives Joe and DB a combined team handicap of 12. For Evan and Miguel, gives them a combined team handicap of 4. So Joe and DB get a stroke a hole for the first 12 hardest holes on the course, and Evan and Miguel get 4. Now what you'll note is some of the 12 holes don't fall within this first event. So we still spread the 12 strokes over the 18 holes, but if the holes don't fall within that event, you don't get a stroke. So if you see 13, 17, 15, no strokes given. But 9, 5, and 3, they get those strokes. So obviously, score 5, they get a 4. Score 5, they get a 4. It is important to note that we'll have to play out each hole. We can't assume each hole was just lost by one stroke. That's going to determine some holes. So just make sure when we're playing, we play out each hole. So 12-4, that's the result. Let's go to alternate shot. How do you formulate the team handicap for alternate shot? Well, what you do is you take both the team handicaps, add them together. Joe and DB, it's 54. Evan and Miguel, that's 29. Joe and DB have the higher team handicap, so they get the strokes. Evan and Miguel don't get any strokes. Again, USGA approved, no asks, no bitching, no lobbying. We don't want to hear it. Then what you do is you take the difference of the two, so 25, and divide it by 2. We round it down, give you 12 strokes. Now what you'll see in alternate shot is all of the holes fall within those 12 hardest holes, so they get a stroke per hole. Evan and Miguel don't get any strokes because they had the lower handicap. Hope that makes sense and you're following along so far. Now, the easy part, best ball, you're just going to apply your individual handicap. So, for instance, Joe 21, DB 33. You can see Joe gets a stroke a hole because he has 21 strokes for 18 holes. DB has 33 strokes per 18 holes, so it starts over. He gets 2 strokes on 14. So if you've ever applied handicaps, that's how it works. And that's pretty much how it's calculated, so it's pretty straightforward there. Hopefully that's not too confusing. But again, as we look at this, all we have to worry about as players is entering in our gross scores. Hope this helps. Hope it clears things up. Again, all of this is USGA approved. It's really going to even the playing field. I think Dom looked at situation last year after day 1. Again, we can't assume every hole was just lost by 1 stroke, but I think last year Team Red won day 1 like 8.5 to 5.5. With the formulas incorporated for handicaps, it was Team Red won day 1 like 8 to 7. So it should get us closer in competition and hopefully give us all what we want watching that 18th hole, the last day of the Cup, and that pairing playing for the Cup down to the wire. Thanks all. Hope this clears things up. Let us know if you have any questions. Have a good Friday and a good weekend.